So I got a question for you, Keith. This is the first podcast of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, did you remember on midnight to lift your left leg?
To lift my left leg?
Yeah, that way you start 2020 out on the right foot.
Oh, that's so cheesy. Are you sure you're not a dad, John? That's a dad joke.
I'm quite positive of that, yes.
Oh, okay. That's a dad joke if I've ever heard one.
A little bit, yeah. So did you do it?
No.
Me neither. I was sitting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. It's going to be purely a game of chance this year by the sound of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, makes sense to me.
It's time to hit the trail, lock in those hubs, and throw it into low range. Because you are listening to Wheelin with Keith and Johnny Orange, broadcasting from the Thin Line Off-Road Studio. They're here to talk about 4x4s, trucks, and everything to do with enjoying the great outdoors. Buckle up. Here's your hosts, Keith and Johnny Orange.
Did you make any New Year's resolutions?
I got a few things. I'm going to try and work my sleep schedule backwards. Kind of go to bed at a semi-reasonable time.
What do you mean work it backwards?
Well, normally I'm falling asleep around 5 or later in the morning right now. I'm going to try to get that back to like 1 or 2.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Projects I want to get done. So I'm kind of retooling one that I had last year and starting to pick up old hobbies again. Mainly just, I've got so much stuff sitting around I don't use right now that I want to start using and doing stuff again. So I'll pick the guitars back up, dust them off. That'll probably take a couple days.
Okay.
Kind of go from there with it.
All right. So that's kind of like your New Year's resolutions is to
use stuff that I have and not get into new stuff.
That's not a bad one.
So, and I'm doing so good so far. I haven't at all this year had a single energy drink. So I'm doing good with that.
In all this year. In all of 2020 so far.
Yep. Not a single one. I almost grabbed one today, though. I almost grabbed a Monster, one of my favorites, on the way here, but I didn't. I got a vitamin water instead.
Well, that's good for you.
Yeah,
that's
it's a
good.
start.
You know, you get everything going, and
yeah, I've made it. I made it almost the whole year, and then it was right around. Actually, the first one I had was the car show, and that was just I figured special occasion. I just wanted one, so I got one.
Okay.
And then I accidentally had one after that, so which I think I talked about on the show once before.
Wait a minute, you accidentally had an energy drink?
Yeah. So I was picking up pizza for dinner and was thirsty, so I grabbed what I thought was one of those Kickstart drinks from Jets.
Aren't those still an energy drink?
Not really, no. There's actually more caffeine in like most regular pops than in those. I've found out they don't have a lot of caffeine.
Okay.
And doesn't have like the energy blend though, like a Monster does or anything like that. So I got about halfway home though, and I'm like, this really tastes super citrusy. Something's funky about this. Yeah, I got home and I looked at it. I grabbed an Amp energy drink.
Oh, okay. All right.
The same color, same bottle, can, same location on the shelf, and it just, I messed up. So I'm doing better.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. You're not drinking that stuff.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
They're good. They're expensive, and they're not good for you by any means. So
my New Year's resolutions, I don't really do that either. I don't do much of the, I just working on myself always, trying to do different things. But
I don't buy the whole New Year, New Me thing. I'll wing it as I go, kind of.
Well,
goals, but
it's not necessarily new me, but the last couple of months, as you know, I've been listening to the, Dave Ramsey, his podcasts, and getting in that, that debt-free journey mind, and I want to get rid of all consumer debt, any credit cards, the last of the truck payment, stuff like that, because to me, it just seems like, it just the freedom of it. I've been debt-free before, and the freedom of it, and that's something maybe for a future episode you and I could do sometime, is how much more enjoyable wheeling is if you're not going down the trail thinking, okay, if I break this thing, am I going to be able to afford to fix it?
That would be a good one, yeah.
I mean, it's really,
yeah.
So, what steps do people have to take to get out of debt, make sure that they, are bankrolling the hobby because
we can find a way to make it work. I think. Somehow.
Well, yeah, a hobby should be enjoyable. A hobby shouldn't be something where you're like, constantly worried that it's gonna, bankrupt you or whatever.
Are you saying I should give up on Pegasus?
Well, I mean, from a number standpoint, probably. From a number standpoint, probably, and that's part of
that's not ever going to happen.
Well, that's part of the psychology of any hobby, or especially what we do. We attach this, complete idea to this inanimate object, and we give it life. So in your case, you give it a name, Pegasus. Yeah. We give these things. We get sentimentally attached. I mean, no offense, you yourself, you do that all the time.
Oh, yeah. I know I do it.
This item here, which is really just a chunk of metal or a chunk of wood or whatever. Yeah, maybe it belonged to grandpa or it belonged to uncle or whoever. It's still an inanimate thing. So what do you get out of it besides your own reminiscing and your own, so that's the thing, what level should people put to these things?
I think it's a Chinese philosophy or something. Beginning of the new year, if you have something you haven't used in a while, hold it for 30 seconds. If it doesn't bring you joy or you can't think of something you're going to use it for, like in the next few days, then get rid of it kind of thing. I don't remember what that's called, but there's a whole philosophy based on that.
I don't remember what her name is, but there's actually a lady who does kind of a self-help book, and I believe she is a Chinese lady, maybe Korean, but Oriental of some sort.
Yeah.
Oriental. And she does that's her thing, is you hold it, and if it doesn't bring you joy, let it go. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But do you think that works for everybody? Would that work for you? Because, you're saying, no. I think it's bring you joy is one thing, find a use for it. Because guys like you and I, we can pick up a broken anything in a garage and say, I can find a use for this.
It's been cut in half. Oh, I can use that. Throw it back in the bin.
So I think it's important to go between, not can I use this?
Yeah.
But does it actually bring me joy?
I suppose in terms of the garage, the can I use this is when can I use this?
Does it bring me fulfillment? Does it, exactly.
Yeah.
When can I use it? And that's my mentality that I've had before is if I look at something and I haven't touched it, used it, had a use for it in the last year, time for it to go.
Makes sense.
I've sold off a lot of things like that. Sometimes it really hurts, even tools that I rarely sell tools. But there's been times where I've had some tool in the garage and I look at it and I go, I used this for one job once 8 years ago, and it's a very specialized tool. Do I see myself ever using it again in the future? No. So you let it go. You don't want to, but it does feel good to let it go.
Yeah, and I've been doing that with some dive gear as of late, and I got a few more things I'm looking to sell. I had a set of tanks for the rebreather, and I didn't use them. I didn't like how they balanced. I couldn't give myself good fills on them, we'll say it that way.
Yeah, no.
So I got rid of them. I've got 4 other sets that I use regularly, so I didn't need this set because it's been sitting on a bench for over a year, not being used. So I got rid of them.
I understand that. You just you get rid of stuff and you figure it out.
I got a few more things looking to get listed and get rid of though.
Yeah.
So
I think it's not so much a resolution, but I also want to get back in the habit of reading a book, maybe at least a book a month.
Yeah, that's one I'd like to. I started to read again a little bit last year, and it kind of got lax, and I fell away from it. And I got through a few books, actually, and I'd like to start doing that again. Most of what I read is technical manuals or instruction manuals, things like that. But
it's funny you mentioned that.
Training, rather.
That's expounding upon what I'm saying, reading books. I want to read more than just fiction.
Yeah.
I do read more than just fiction all the time. As you know, I enjoy mechanicals books, history of various things. But it's been a while since the internet days. I'll say it's since the internet days, but it's becoming easier and easier. And I read every single day. I get an idea or I think about something. I go, okay, well, what was the history of this? And I end up going on to Wikipedia or I find websites about it and I read. And I do read voraciously.
Yeah.
But to actually sit down with the paper book and read through something, I haven't done a lot of that lately. The last book I read completely was probably 4 months ago. And so I'd like to get back into that habit of sitting down and reading paper hard copy books, partially because, it is tangible in my hands, but at the same point, I'm
less distracted, less tempted to get off a tangent on something else.
Exactly.
And
I'm
that
relaxed.
happens to me all the time.
Yes.
I'll start, same thing. I said, well, I'll read this article real quick. And an hour later, I'm something not even related, and I made it through like half the article.
Part of the problem with that, and a lot of articles these days, are the sublinks that they have in the article. So
accidentally hit something like, oh, that's interesting.
And even if it's not accidental, I was reading something earlier, and I can't even tell you what it was about now, but I was reading something, and it said, it wasn't even like for more information here. It was. It was literally just a highlighted part of the sentence, and I said, "Oh, that might be interesting." And I clicked on it. Next thing you know, I'm half an hour into reading about that next part of it.
I've done that.
So, I that's what I want to get back into, doing that.
I started, and I full well blame you for this. I started reading the author Clive Cussler.
Oh yeah,
years ago when we first met.
Well, that puts all of our interests together. It puts diving and automotive.
Shooting. Yeah.
For you, the guns. I'm not a big gun guy, but...
Well, there's like only one he talks about anyway.
One gun?
Yeah. He's Colt 1911.
Oh, no. He mentions all sorts of other guns in there.
I know. But no, it's I started collecting them, as you know, a few years ago, and I've got a lot of them. I think I've read 3 or 4 of them, and I'm halfway through another one that I haven't touched in over a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to start reading again. Spending less time on my phone's another big one. Just same thing. I get lost in that. I waste so much time looking at nothing.
I've actually considered, and I'm not sure I can do it. Mm-hmm. I've considered going back to a flip phone.
I don't even know if there's any they still make.
They do. They, really? I was on my
Cricket Wireless.
Well, yeah, that's what I have.
The old something like the Jitterbug or something.
No, they do have them, and they have pictures, or they have the camera capabilities. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
I do too much with it to get away from it completely.
That's kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah, so the video projects that I work on, I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff with it. Stuff like that. If I'm selling stuff, I use it for pictures. As you and anyone who knows me personally has seen on my Facebook, a lot of pictures of the cat.
Yeah, I had one the other day.
Yeah,
Draco, the studio cat in the tree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's cute. I don't care.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
What I got looking at was, and I had a problem with logging into a couple of the accounts ever since I had to reload my phone because it was locking up on me. I did a master reset on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I had Preston come down, and you may or may not have seen my post. Said something along, when tech support fails, you find a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And he helped fix a couple of things for me, but I sat down and I had to make him a tree of the social media accounts and say, okay, well, the thing is, and I still haven't figured this out, maybe you can help me with this eventually, but you're not a big Instagrammer. You use it.
I have it.
You have it.
I'm not active on it.
Instagram has the feature that whatever you post on there, and I love the photo improving capabilities, photo editing capabilities of Instagram. But if you post something on Instagram, it then will post to Facebook and it'll post to Twitter. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, it doesn't want to properly link the accounts. It's linking them to, say, my personal Facebook page or whatever the case may be. So I was showing them, and I did this tree, and I said, we've got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram I've got it personally. We've got it for Wheelin.
Yeah.
We have it for the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, and we have it for Thin Line Off-Road.
Yeah.
So altogether, that's 12 different social media accounts.
Good Lord, man.
That doesn't count, and that's how many I'm juggling here. And that
I'm sorry.
And that doesn't include the forums, which I've been laxing again. I said toward a couple months ago when we were talking about Facebook groups versus forums, and I said I'm going to be more active. I was active for a while.
Yeah.
Once again, dropped off. Not out of not wanting to. It's just been so busy, and then I forget about
life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way, and then you forget about them sometime too.
Yeah.
So that was part of the problem. So I need to almost start getting a list down and saying, okay.
I was just going to say, it's not a bad idea. Start writing down some of what you want to do.
Well,
I've thought about it.
It's funny you mentioned that. Did you see the post on the Museum of Off-Road Adventure page?
Which one?
For about noon today. It was the calendars.
Oh, right.
So
I did see that one.
Yeah, I got the inspiration from both the calendars that were donated to the museum as well as the Thumbprint News. They both do a This Day in History calendar.
Yeah.
So, you look through the calendar and each day says something like, this day in 1945, blah, blah, blah happened. So I got thinking about it. I says, because this calendar has a lot of great interesting Jeep history. Using that as kind of the foundation, I want to build into my goal here is, and I don't know if it'll happen, but to do every single day today in 4x4 history.
That'd be cool. I did miss the post. I thought you were talking about the one about the calendars and donations, but yeah, I missed that one.
I did put that at the end of it again, but
yeah.
I'm thinking, so each day being able to load up something to say on the museum page, this day in 4x4 history.
That'd be cool.
For example, I'm going to reach over here for a second.
Yep.
And
long reach there.
Yeah, there, long reach, long reach. So this is the calendar. Do you have one of these or no?
I do, yeah, but I actually have it hanging up.
Oh, okay.
So now it's January.
Okay, yeah. so you already read through it, or you looked through it a little bit, like.
I opened it and put it on the wall, and honestly, I haven't looked at it since.
So if you're listening to this right now, and you're a fan of Wheelin, you know that we record a couple of days before so we can do our editing and posting and things like, or getting our, the podcast ready before it loads. And of this recording date, this episode uploads January 6th. So, for example, January 6th, this date in history, in 1942, production begins on the Ford GPW. The Ford GPW was Ford's version of the Jeep. Willys couldn't keep up during early World War II production with the producing of the Jeep, so Ford built them as well.
Yeah, there were a couple of companies that built them. I don't remember all of them, but
under government contract, it was Ford and Willys. Bantam started. Bantam
had the design.
Bantam had the design.
Willys and Ford, but I thought there was one other company that made like a few.
No, well, not.
I might be thinking of something else though.
There was prototypes by, like, say, Indian Motorcycles and things like that.
That might be what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But, John, what do you think? Should we take a quick break?
Yeah, not a bad idea. Get some more water. Go from there. Maybe we try to get back on track. See you in a bit.
Hey, it sounds like it's time to swap out that old engine for something better, John.
Yeah, man, but I have so much into my trans and transfer case set up already. I don't want to change those too.
Sounds like you need to call Quick Draw Brand Adapters. They specialize in conversion bell housings for nearly all diesel and gasoline engines, including the new 2.8R Cummins.
I like weird engines. I want something different.
Then you definitely need to visit QuickDrawBrand.com today. They have those hard-to-find parts. They also have used diesel engines available. You can call them at 513-446-9654.
Cool, I'll do that. See what they have. Thanks.
So, continuing on talking about these calendars and dates and things like that, if you haven't seen them on the Museum of Off-Road Adventure Facebook page, check them out, folks. You can purchase these calendars. It's actually not even a purchase, it's a donation thing. Originally, we kind of messed things up. We were going to do it as a purchase, but with a minimum donation of $15 to the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, which you can do through the museum's PayPal at themora.org. There's other ways you can do it. You mail a check. Minimum donation of $15. We're going to send you one of these calendars. We're going to cover the shipping on it. So these were all donated to us by Bill Norris of the Dispatcher magazine.
And they are beautiful calendars.
Really cool.
Oh, man, these prints are gorgeous in this thing.
They are really neat. And so, it's too late for a Christmas gift maybe, but birthday gifts or just for the Jeep collector.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it was something that you're going to keep. These are the type of calendar that even after 2020 is over, I don't think you're going to want to throw this away.
No. Even if you're a history buff, there's a lot of cool pictures and information here.
Yeah.
It's seriously nice.
So, that's kind of the big thing we're doing with the museum. Although now the Christmas walk's over. We had, during the Christmas walk event, I don't remember the exact number, but somewhere around 4,700 people. that came through the event.
Wow.
As you had mentioned before, the majority of them went through the museum as well.
Nice.
A lot of foot traffic through the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great time. And now that the event's over, we're going to start focusing on some renovations of the inside of the museum area, expanding our display areas.
Sweet.
Pretty excited about doing all that.
Reminds me, I might have a line on another Chevy truck, by the way.
Oh, cool.
No Blazer, K5 Blazer.
Very
Maybe.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That would be something interesting to put in there. You'd show a little bit of the Blazer history.
Yeah.
But do you got anything else for museum minutes, John?
Nothing I can think of. No. Not
Okay.
this time, anyways.
All right. And rolling from that, I guess, into 4x4 news. Have you seen anything, nationally, internationally? Any big 4x4 news out there?
Not that I've noticed, but I'll be honest, I haven't looked a whole lot. Just kind of been busy working on other stuff the last few days.
Okay.
So
I haven't seen anything real big. Personal 4x4 news, Project Z71, Preston's first little pickup truck there. We took and we got some of the broken headlight assembly out of for Christmas. He got a headlight, a tail light, and a little bit of money towards the truck. We were able to use a crowbar and some wood to pop out the smashed front fender to the point where the headlight will fit until he gets another front fender for it and everything. It wouldn't be worth spending 200 hours of body work trying to straighten the fender. It's just, not going to be worth it.
You don't spend that. You make him learn. He's got to learn somehow.
Well, true. But, and then you came up with some wheels for it.
Yeah, I got a hold of a buddy of mine. So we're going to give a big shout out to Johnny Ray and his dad for helping us out with that.
Johnny Ray or Rain?
Johnny Ray, R-E-Y.
Oh, okay.
So I got a hold of him. I know he's got access to some Chevy parts. And there's an extra set of wheels and tires his dad had sitting in the garage for a while. So worked the details out, and he brought them over to me, and I brought them over to you this evening.
Yeah, nice. So, well, that was when Project Z71 was, before it became Project Z71, it had gotten guardrailed, and so there's damage on the driver's side of it, or passenger side of it, and the two wheels on the passenger side are both cracked. As we found, those optional 18-inch aluminum wheels are pretty difficult to find, at least for a reasonable price used.
I believe it.
There you go. We haven't told a lot of stories lately. Here's kind of a funny story. So prior to Christmas, I'm looking for these 18-inch wheels for Project Z71, and I'm going to a couple of different junkyards. I'm popping in and out, greater Detroit area. No, calling some places. No. So I finally, there's a well-known, I'm just going to leave it at that. There's a well-known, they've been around for 50 plus years. They may have changed ownership, but well-known wheel seller in the Detroit area.
Okay.
And they've got all these custom wheels and things like that. So I go in and, this guy kind of meets me at the door, how can I help you? Blah, blah, blah. And I says, looking for some, stock takeoff wheels from a Chevy truck, 18s. And he's like, well, let's go check the pile out there. And we go out and we're looking through the used wheel pile, and there's nothing, not even remotely close. So, he says, oh, we can figure something out. He says, come on inside. So we come inside, and he, we're talking for a minute, and I says, I just need 2 of those. And he's like, well, I might be able to get you new ones. And I said, okay. And sometimes you can get new takeoffs and things. So he goes and he walks around the counter, and he doesn't look in the computer or anything. And he comes back around. He's kind of looks into one book, and then he says, okay, follow me. And and he walks over to this section of all brand new wheels he's got on display. And I said, no, we're not interested in buying, like custom rims or anything. Oh, no, good price. I give you a good price. And I says, okay, he's an Arabic guy, and he's good price. And I says, well, all right, let's see what you got. So he walks over, and he shows me the most god awful ugly rims I've ever seen in my entire life. These things are, I don't even know how to. It looked like a 1980s reject of Teenage Mutant Ninja Throwing Star or something, and obviously very, very, very cheaply made.
Yeah.
I looked at them and I'm thinking, if you turn hard on these, the spokes are going to come out and these things are going to, like, you could just tell it was one of those.
Yeah.
And he's, I give you a good price. I give you a good price. He says $600 and it's $600. No, I'm not interested in buying a $600 set of wheels.
Yeah.
And and he goes, well, no, there's nothing cheaper than that. And as soon as he says that, I said, well, I'm good, and he just turns around and walks away from me like I didn't exist. Just like,
wow.
it was it's not that funny of a story, but it was just, I guess you had to kind of be there, that it was once I was such a cheapskate in his mind that I wasn't going to spend $600 on these very cheaply made, terrible wheels that I'm 100% sure I could buy those on Amazon or something, probably for $39 a piece.
Probably.
Yeah. I was like, no. I'm as reputable or disreputable as you may be. I'm not buying these things. So.
By the way, I've got a slightly changing topic. I've got to notice there's been a loss at your house, it seems. The plant finally succumbed to
the cat
something.
plant?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
I think it was gone at the last episode, and I forgot to bring it up.
Yeah, they murdered it.
That poor thing.
Yeah, the cat plant is gone. But now there's the Christmas.
We're going to piss the vegans off.
Now there's a Christmas tree, a plastic Christmas tree for them to gnaw on.
Yeah, but I can't make fun of your watering habits on that.
Well, there you go. Working at the Christmas walk this year, I had several people ask me, like, why aren't the trees real? And I said, the trees are real. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, they're not real. I said, yes, they are.
Okay.
They're real plastic trees, Oh,
jeez.
And then, a lot of them will be like, well, why is there no live trees? Well, that would be very cumbersome, bringing live trees with all the dirt and the roots and the So then they finally, they figure, freshly cut, why is there not any that were alive? That's why I had a guy say to me, why isn't there that were alive? I said, once again, they were all alive. Well, not the plastic ones. Well, yeah, they were. Plastic's made out of oil. Oil's made out of old plant material and dinosaur material from 50, 60,000 years ago. So
you're decorating dead dinosaurs?
Technically, a plastic Christmas tree is live. Was live long time ago.
Plus, with that many trees, by the time you finish watering all of them, you got to start over again.
Yeah. So, man, we're rambling a lot today, but this is kind of reminding me of one of our end of the trail episodes.
A little bit, yeah. Which
is fine.
Yeah, I'm all right with it.
But
we have no one here to kind of keep us in line again.
That's Andrew's out yet again. I don't know that we should call this unsupervised part 2, but it almost feels like that.
Yeah. Or rambling part 1.
Oh my God. No, yeah, rambling part 1.
What episode? 38? Rambling part 38?
Yeah. All right. So going back to our New Year's thing, buddy. Going back to the New Year's thing,
I'll say this. My biggest is to get both my Jeeps kind of in working, running, orderly condition. So they're not going to be mint. So as Pegasus is back together, but
you were throwing me off. Again. You own more than 2 Jeeps, but yes, I get what you mean. The 2 that you're working on right now.
Yeah, the third. Once these are both done, then that one goes under the knife.
Yeah, sure.
Well, under the grinder might be a better phrase.
There you go.
So the 2 projects I want to get done, or at least in running, driving, stopping condition.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's a very attainable goal.
Yeah, I think you are. That's for me. Projects working on things this year. Brat Pack's got to get back on the road. Project Excursion needs to get fixed up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to do a tub swap on Pegasus. I'm not looking forward to that.
Is it getting that bad?
Yeah, let's just pray I don't ever get T-boned. Well, the cab's gonna go flying.
With as much welding you've had to do on that frame, you might just want to start with a Southern rust-free truck and.
No.
What?
No, I can get a tub for. Well, the deal I've got worked up presently is $35.
For a TJ tub?
Yes.
A rust-free TJ tub?
Relatively.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I guess.
So, had I made the move when the offer was originally presented, it would have been free, but that was my bad. So.
Okay.
But no, it's already off. There's nothing in on it or around it. It's just a bare tub. It's in really good shape. Well, there's a selection of them. I'll leave it at that. And they're there. That way it's off, so I can actually do any rust repairs I need to without anything, like the frame being in the way.
Okay. You think you get that done this year?
Oh, I'm gonna have to. It's getting pretty bad. So yeah, like all the sheet metal and zip screws that hold together half of the floor. There's like that's kind of floating right now.
Okay.
In one spot.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to be done. I'm not happy about it, but I'm. It's gonna be cheaper and easier to do that. Well, it'll be cheaper and quicker to do that than it would be to try and repair what's there.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
It's going to take me a considerable amount more time. Well, no, it'll actually take me less time to do that. Even having to rip the entire dash and all that stuff out. Just there's a lot more rust than I thought.
It always happens with Michigan vehicles.
Yeah.
I'd like to get more wheeling in this year, actual wheeling, getting out in the trails. I've been lacking in that a little bit. I've been using my off-road vehicles, four-wheel drive vehicles for work vehicles and doing, off-roading in a work sense at times. Yeah. But actually just getting out and hitting like some of the parks, hitting, going up to some of the off-road areas that we have. I think that I need to try to get out a couple more times this year.
I used to play disc golf for a while, and I haven't really touched that at all. So I really want to get out and start doing that again.
Okay.
It is good exercise. I mean, you're out running around or walking around.
Can you play disc golf from the Jeep?
Huh? Like in?
Well, isn't disc golf where you go around and you like throw a disc like?
Yeah, like a frisbee.
Well, couldn't you do it from a Jeep and then drive around and like kind of
I suppose
like
you
polo?
could, but you'd have to get out and pick the disc up.
Oh well, okay.
Kind of defeats half the purpose.
Okay, fair enough. But
I think I played one time last year, maybe, and I went with a buddy of mine. He was getting into it, so he went to another person he was referred to, who I didn't even know was a disc golf player. And we went out there, and he looked at some products, bought a bag and some discs. So we went out and played.
Okay.
I didn't do so well.
All right.
So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's man. I don't know. Did you ever figure out last week when you were talking about like that word you were trying to figure out?
No, I gave up. I tried to forget it.
Did you even?
I tried to repress the memory.
Did you try to Google it or anything?
Nope. I just tried to repress it.
Oh man,
I felt it terrible on that one.
All right, buddy. Let's take a quick break and then we'll talk a little more.
Sounds good. See you in a bit.
Have you heard the good news? Now there's a local paper that people just can't seem to get enough of. It's the Thumbprint News. The Thumbprint News is free and full of interesting stories that focus on what's important in our lives. Stories that touch on this area's rich history, unique places, and the diverse cultures and people. You'll be in the know when you read the Thumbprint News. Go to thumbprintnews.com and read the paper online for free today.
I think it is a New Year's resolution that I have, though. I do have one, and that is regarding this.
Grow your hair back?
Yeah, not happening. That is regarding this podcast. My New Year's resolution is to continue to improve upon what we have, and
I like it.
To get, I guess the word would not be better content, but to get to a point where I feel that our content is more compressed, where kind of like where we're getting to the point. I mean, I like the platform we do. I like how we kind of ramble back and forth, both of us with our ADD, and we, we just shoot things off of each other and we tell funny stories and things like that. And admittedly, neither of us have been on a wheeling trip in some months now. Yeah. Neither of us have done, mainly because of Michigan's absolutely terrible cold weather, have done much of anything wrenching on our vehicles. So we're running out of topics. Not necessarily topics, but from the nuts and bolts day-to-day messing with our rigs and things like that, we are, not out of, but
kind of staled.
Stalled.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. We're kind of stalled. We keep talking about history things. We can keep talking about, pros and cons of things, and those are all great episodes. But what we've tried to do for our listeners as you know, is we've tried to do like, say, an episode that's packed full of history about something. And those seem to be our most popular, at least with the ratings, seem to be our most popular episodes. And then we do an episode that might be real technical, and then we do an episode in no particular order, but then we'll do an episode maybe where we are just kind of just rambling and we're talking about personal things and 4x4 things. So I want to start to figure out, to gauge where we can go where this can be really successful. I want this to be successful for our listeners, for us, for our advertisers. I want this to be where we can take and continue to boil down the content that we bring to it and till we have the real meat and potatoes.
I agree.
So that's kind of, sure, we're going to backslide. We'll have an episode that we just go, man, we could have done better. The one thing I have noticed, though, and I'm pretty proud of this, that we have not gotten to a point recently where, at least myself, I don't know about you, but myself, where we have felt that there was a lot of corrections needed, where we've gone back and say, oh, well, we should have said this, or what we said here was incorrect.
Yeah.
What we've been doing, we're doing a better job at being pretty concise on what we're trying to do. And that's another word. I want to be more concise. I want to, get to it. But what about you for the podcast? Do you have wishes, dreams that you want to see?
I mean, not anything over and above that. I mean, you kind of pretty well hit it on the nail there.
I was thinking that, and this is something I'd also like to hear feedback from our listeners. I was thinking that we need to put some effort into getting the studio, or at least the temporary studio set up in the maybe in the basement here or something like that, and doing YouTube videos.
I'm all right with that.
I keep getting it asked again and again and again. People are like, I want a YouTube video. I want a YouTube video. And
like of us doing this?
Of us doing this?
I mean, well, I'm all right with that.
People watch podcasters on YouTube. I don't know why, but
I can't say I've ever done that. So
I have a couple times. I've watched like Dave Ramsey. I've watched Joe Rogan. You've never watched any like the Joe Rogan interviews?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So I've done it. But I don't know. I just and I don't really get it, because to me, podcasts are best for listening, say, while you're driving or listening.
That's why I never would have even thought to watch it.
People like to watch them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for it. We can expand on that. I've been keeping an eye out for like studio foam and stuff.
Yeah, we definitely would need that. I'm hoping once we get the big barn redone out back, that we can do a real top-notch studio where we can do project builds, things like that.
That would be sweet for sure.
I'm hoping that this year that we actually get some work put into that barn too.
Yeah,
that would be good. We will do some work temporarily, and I guess we could do some studio builds down at the Mora. I'm
all right with that too. Either way, I mean, we'll get it done. We'll figure it out somehow.
Do you think we should move a studio down there, or do you like keeping the studio here?
I mean, either or. There's probably a few less distractions down there. There's no plant to make fun of, but the plant's gone anyways, so that makes me sad.
Oh my God, John!
No, if we have the space for it, I mean, that's going to be the only thing there. Technical limitations.
True.
So I mean, aside from that, we just gotta find a space that can accommodate what we need if we're going to start doing video and all that. That's something we'll have to discuss off the air.
Yeah, true. And it's a very echoey building, so trying to figure out build a booth that's, dubs all that.
Yeah, it might take a little bit more time and effort and money to actually build a structure that'll support that.
Sure.
But we'll wing it. We'll play it by ear.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to, down at the Mara, when we do get the garage area going, I would like to potentially install a paint booth. That'd be really nice.
That'd be cool. Or one of those temporary ones at least or something.
Yeah. That would be neat.
Yeah.
You look like you were going to say something, buddy.
Oh, yeah. So I know what we could do. We need to get a deuce and a half, and we'll just build a studio in the back of that.
Like one of the ones that was the mobile command unit?
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be pretty cool.
We'd not only be soundproof, we'd be bulletproof. And bomb-proof.
Are those bulletproof?
Some of them. Not all of
them. That would be...
Like the APCs are, but those generally probably don't have enough room for us.
Get one of those studios from the back there.
Yeah.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's, and I think it all just comes together, and that's what it is. That's my New Year's resolution. Really, is to keep boiling down what we have and to keep looking at everything.
Yeah.
Were you waving your time at me?
No, I was playing with the headphone cable.
Oh, I'm like, man, that doesn't seem right.
I put a clock up.
No, I see the clock, and that's new to me too. This is kind of cool. The countdown clock or count up clock telling us.
Yeah, runtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually not even that far into this episode, which kind of makes me. I think maybe that's part of what's throwing me off this time is because I'm looking over at it.
We're more conscious of the time.
We
did better when we weren't watching it.
I'm conscious of the time, and then I'm thinking how much have we put into here?
Yeah,
that's just strange.
Shockingly low number.
Yeah, well, we've already had 2 commercial breaks too, right?
Yeah.
So, this is going to be a shorter episode. I don't think we're going to be that over the hour runtime that we've been kind of doing.
I think we did an hour and 5 last time or something like that.
That's kind of long for us too.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that long.
Me neither.
Of course, 8 minutes of that was my terrible, terrible opener.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I did see something cool today when I was just out doing some shopping. I went by Duluth Trading Company, and have you heard of them? They're clothes and things like that.
Yeah, they got some nice heavy-duty stuff.
I walk in the door. Have you been there before?
Nope.
Oh, I walk in the door, and this is what they have parked. I'm showing you.
That is awesome.
Yeah, my buddy Dave's been looking for it. It's a M274 platform truck, half-ton 4x4.
That's an actual truck?
Yes, it's a military mule.
Ew.
Yeah, I've only seen.
That's awesome.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah, I want one.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it'd be useful around the farm or something.
Read this. Hold on.
You're gonna read we'll just read the whole thing out loud.
All right, U.S. military M274 platform truck, half-ton 4x4, a.k.a. military mule or mechanical mule. Designed for jungle warfare and airborne and infantry battalions, the M274 mule was used extensively during the Vietnam War, carrying men, supplies, weaponry, and ammunition. As a completely open and exposed vehicle, it offered absolutely no protection to the driver. Driver's seat could be removed, and the steering column could be moved forward so the operator could drive the vehicle while crawling behind it. Max speed was 25 miles per hour. 11,240 military mules were produced from 56 to 1970. I want one. That's too cool.
Oh, well, that last part, I didn't know about the whole crawling behind thing. I could see that'd be perfect for you when you're leaving the bar. You can just,
I'm not driving.
I'm just crawling behind my car. Well,
oh, God, you got to put watermelon on it.
Why?
Then you're not, if you drink, don't drive.
Oh my God, John, do the watermelon crawl. Oh, that was so bad.
Oh, so don't worry, I got one more to end the show on tonight. So.
Oh man, well I need to go through and dig some more out of there. One of the kids gave me a dad's joke book or dad's jokes for Christmas.
Maybe that should be another resolution. We open every episode with a joke.
I mean,
or at some point in the episode.
Well, we tell enough of them as we go along.
Yeah.
But
we probably run out of the good ones really fast enough to go to the ones that are only for the after show.
Yeah. Well, like how you make a tissue dance, right?
I don't know this one.
You blow a little boogie in it?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Or you put a little boogie in it?
I've heard it took me a second to remember that one. There's so many of them.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But so that's my resolution is to continue to improve upon what we've already done. I don't want to acquire anything new. I don't want to get new projects. I just like you.
I want to finish stuff up. Pay attention to things I've been ignoring. That's the biggest.
I want to get out of debt. I want
a new gun.
That's buying something. That's a new project, John.
No, it's not a new project.
Oh.
Hey, you're the one who said you didn't want to start something new or buy anything. I never agreed to that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, well, no, you need to...
Yeah, need to work on the out-of-debt thing.
Uh-huh.
And a way to do that.
I can help you with that.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Man, I don't know. Should this be one of those short episodes, or
I'm all right with it.
Or do you got something else?
They're probably sick of hearing us ramble anyways.
Yeah, let's call this a short one this week. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, welcome to 2020, the year of hindsight.
Yes.
And thank you for listening, and hope you're enjoying, and we hope you enjoy what we have in praying and that you'll stay with us the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Okay, I should have let you end on that. I like that, but the year of hindsight?
Yeah, hindsight is 2020.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, hopefully your vision for 2020 is perfectly clear.
Oh, God.
Bad. So many 2020 jokes. So many 2020 jokes.
With that, thanks for listening and have a good one, everybody.